A lock of gold, a secret smile, little things I remember. Place a hand upon my heart as her, she was a believer. Sometimes I can feel her arms holding me as forever. Time changes everything and everything.
So hey everybody, it's Mickey, and in today's video I'm sharing with you 5 pantry meal kit recipes to have in your backup for those nights when you just can't even think about what to make for dinner. The holidays are upon us and we just keep on getting busier and busier, so having recipes like this on hand gives you one less decision to make and one more thing to check off your list. I'm going to have a free printable down below for you that's going to have all the recipes that I'm sharing today, what you put in the bag, and what you need in your kitchen to make these meals. So if you are new here, I hope you'll take a minute to subscribe. I put out new videos every week about all things home. The first thing that you need to do to create your pantry meal kits is to go through your recipes and decide which recipes you want to use to build your meal kits around. Now these are going to be the recipes that are your family's favorites, the ones that they ask for over and over again, and they are the ones that you know that you usually have these ingredients in your pantry, in your cupboard, in your freezer. Once you decide what recipes you want to use, you hit your pantry, collect all your ingredients, or you go ahead and you make a grocery list to run up to the store to gather the ingredients that you're going to need. Once you have your recipes all taken care of, you want to decide what kind of bag you want to use for your meal kits. Now you can use either gallon or 2-gallon size Ziploc bags, or you can use like those, you know, the gift bag types of paper bags. I like the ones that you can just find at Michael's. They're just like, you know, the craft paper. I like to use these because they stand up on their own and they hold a little bit more. Now for these, you can either write on the bag, you know, what the recipe is and what's inside, or you can use like a little Post-it note to just stick it on there so you can reuse the bag over again. For the Ziploc bags, you'll just need, you know, like a Sharpie marker to write down on the front of it what's inside and what you're going to need to create the recipe on that night. So today we are going to do 5 recipes, and I have my bags all lined up here. I have put what recipe it is on the little Post-it note, and I have it stuck right to the front of the bag. The key to these recipes is that you know that you have a well-stocked kitchen. I know that I have all the seasonings that I could possibly need. Flour, sugar, I have eggs, butter, and milk in the refrigerator, and proteins like chicken, beef, pork in my freezer. Up first today is Crock Pot Mississippi Pot Roast. This has been a really popular recipe in my house. We like to make this, you know, for a full meal that you have like potatoes and veggies with, and we also like to make it and slice it up for sandwiches. So for this recipe, you are going to need 1 packet of au jus gravy, a packet of ranch seasoning. Now, if you don't have the packets and you have the large container, you can just put in a little zippy 3 tablespoons of that ranch dressing equals 1 of these packets, and you will need a jar of either pepperoncino peppers, or you can also use these mild banana peppers. On the day that you make this recipe, you are going to need a 3 to 4 pound beef roast along with a half a stick of butter and your crock pot. Now you don't have to brown your roast before you put it in the crock pot, but I think that you have a better result in the end by browning it on all sides in a large saute pan with a little bit of butter and olive oil. I also like to season the beef really well with some garlic powder, Mrs. Dash, salt, and pepper.
Now once the roast is browned, just add it to your crock pot and then sprinkle the packages of ranch seasoning and the packet of au jus gravy on top of the roast. Then add a good portion of the peppers on top. I also like to add a little bit of the juices from the jar on top of the roast. I think that it adds a little bit more flavor. Then you're going to top the roast with your butter. Also add about a cup of water around the roast, cover it up, and cook it on high for 4 to 5 hours or low 6 to 8 hours. I served the Mississippi pot roast today with some mashed potatoes and mixed vegetables. This is really a great recipe because there's always enough to have the next day sliced up on a sandwich for lunch.
Soups are a great option for these meal kits because they are so versatile. You can, pull this kit out at the beginning of the week, put your soup together, and you can use it for lunches, for a quick meal at night. They're really great to pack in your lunch for work or for school. They are just great to have in your refrigerator. Taco soup is one of my family's most favorite soups, and for this you are going to need a can of Rotel. You can use whatever heat your family likes. We like the original the best. You need a can of black beans. You need a can of whole kernel corn, beef broth. You'll need a packet of taco seasoning, or if you make your own mixture, you'll need about 3 tablespoons of that, and you will need a jar of picante sauce.
For this taco soup recipe, you're going to need about a pound of ground beef or ground sausage, and you will need an assortment of vegetables. Today I'm going to be using red bell pepper, green bell pepper, zucchini, and onion, but this is one of those recipes that you can pretty much add whatever you have in your refrigerator at the time. It's a very forgiving recipe. For our recipe today, I used about a pound of ground bison. I am browning it in a medium stock pot. When it's about halfway cooked through, I'll add our chopped vegetables and cook it until the meat is cooked through and the veggies are soft, and then we will add our other ingredients. Once everything is cooked, we're going to add the Rotel, black beans, corn, salsa. You can also add a little bit of crushed tomatoes to go along with everything, and your beef broth. Bring it all to a boil, then turn it down to low medium and let it simmer for about 20 or 30 minutes. This taco soup is best served with a little bit of sour cream on top and a side of corn chips. If you want it to be a little bit more spicy, you can add about a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes or a little cayenne pepper.
Just like soups, chili and stews are great options for these meal kits. So for my basic chili recipe, in your bag you are going to need, again, a packet of taco seasoning, or if you make your own mixture, you'll need about 3 tablespoons. You're going to need a large jar of picante sauce. You'll need a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, a can of black beans, and a can of red kidney beans.
For my chili recipe today, I used 3 pounds of ground turkey. I had a half of a green bell pepper and half of an onion in my refrigerator, so I chopped that up and threw it in as well. Once everything is all browned and the vegetables are soft, I'm going to add my can of crushed tomatoes, the jar of picante sauce. I'm going to add the packet of taco seasonings, plus some garlic powder, basil, a little bit of oregano, a big heaping teaspoon of red pepper flakes, Mrs. Dash, and a little bit of sugar. Then add your can of kidney beans and black beans. Bring it all to a boil. Turn it down to about medium-low heat and simmer for about a half hour to 40 minutes. Who doesn't love a big bowl of chili? I like to serve mine on a bed of white rice topped with some sour cream and cheddar cheese. We often like to add a little bit of guacamole and tortilla chips on the side. It is just the perfect meal for a chilly night. Our next recipe I found on TikTok earlier this year, and it has really become a family favorite in our house. I don't even think that it has a name. It might have a name. If you guys know it, please leave me a comment down below, because I just call it my TikTok recipe. So in the bag, you are going to need a jar of traditional spaghetti sauce, a jar of Alfredo sauce, and a pound of skinny spaghetti. I love this recipe because it is so simple to make and it is always really delicious. You are going to need, along with your jar of Alfredo sauce and jar of tomato sauce, skinny spaghetti, you will need about a pound of ground beef, 1 medium chopped onion, and a bag of mozzarella and provolone shredded cheese. Brown your pound of ground meat in a large saute pan. Meanwhile, start your water to boil the pasta. When the meat is about halfway cooked through, add your chopped onion and brown until the meat is cooked all the way through and the onion is soft. When your meat and onions are cooked all the way through, add your jar of tomato sauce. Now you're also going to add some garlic powder, Mrs. Dash, salt, pepper, basil, red pepper flakes, and just a little bit of sugar. Once your pasta is cooked, you're going to add it to a 9x13 pan. To the pasta, add your whole jar of Alfredo sauce. Be sure to add a little bit of milk in your jar. Shake it up really well so you get every last drop. On top of the pasta, add your tomato and beef mixture, and then over top of everything, add your shredded mozzarella and provolone cheese. Cover with some foil and cook in a 375-degree oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. This is such a quick and simple recipe, but it is so delicious. I plan on serving this during the upcoming holiday season. It's really that good. Just add a side salad and some good Italian bread, and you have yourself a great meal. I am a big fan of something sweet after a meal, and this crock pot apple cobbler is just one of our favorites because it is so quick and easy. You can stick it in your crock pot, and like 3 hours you have the best cobbler that you've ever tasted. Now for your bag, all you're going to need to put in there is 2 cans of apple pie filling. Now you can use peach pie filling, you can use blueberry, you can use strawberry, whatever your family likes, and you will need 1 box of your classic white cake mix. The other things that we're going to need for this recipe is about 3/4 of a stick of butter, some cinnamon sugar, and some cinnamon. Since this recipe is a little sticky, you may want to use one of those slow cooker liners. It just makes cleanup so much easier, especially with a sticky recipe like this one. To a lined crock pot, add your 2 cans of apple pie filling. Be sure to break up the larger pieces of apple with your spoon and just spread it across the bottom. Sprinkle the top with a little bit of cinnamon sugar, and then you are going to add your cake mix. To the top of your cake mix, add about a teaspoon of cinnamon, melt your butter, and add that to the top as well. Cover and cook on high 3 to 4 hours. As you can imagine, this recipe makes your house smell so good. I like to serve it with some ice cream. I like to buy those little party packs of ice cream that you can find at Walmart. I just put a big bowl of them next to the crock pot, and it makes it really easy for everybody to serve themselves. This is such a delicious, quick recipe. You can literally make it anytime, and everybody loves it. The best part about these recipes is that we have the opportunity to use up what we have in our pantries because, you know, we all repeat the same recipes over and over again because they're just our family favorites. And this way you can put these meal kits together, use up what's in our refrigerators and freezers. Another benefit of these kits is that you can tuck them away for a time when you haven't had the time to go to the grocery store, or you're not feeling well, or you want to pass them along to your kids away at school or a neighbor who's in need of a meal. So thank you all so much for watching today's Pantry Meal Kit video. Don't forget to check the description box for that free recipe printable link. I hope you'll let me know in the comments section if you are trying any of these recipes or you put together your own meal kits at home. Please join our communities over on Facebook and Instagram at My Bashful Life, and don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to have you all back as part of our YouTube family. So until I see you in that next video, I hope that you love the life that you have, be kind to each other, stay safe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!